it's important to have high standards, but at what point do standards become unrealistic?
What's up, everybody? I'm Michael.
And I'm Amanda, and today we're going to discuss whether or not you have unrealistic standards.
Standards become unrealistic whenever you expect more of a person than you're willing to do yourself. Whenever Amanda and I started dating, I would tell her, I want a woman who works out every day, eats healthy, is always put together. But meanwhile, I was in my dorm room, in my bed, eating nachos and Papa John's, going to class in a hoodie and jeans. But I wouldn't want her to do that. So I think that whenever you have expectations of someone else that you're not willing to adhere to, they're unrealistic. And this is not just with relationships. This is also with the way that you may see someone else in ministry. For some of you, you may say, I want my pastor to always be in the Word. I want him to fast like 3, 5, 8 times a week. I want him to just be so full of the Lord so that way he can pour into me. But, my question for you is, do you have that same expectation of yourself? And if not, then that's just another example of having unrealistic expectations.
When you're searching for someone to call the love of your life or to marry for the rest of your life, it's okay to have high standards, and oftentimes men and women will make lists. I want this in a man, I want that in a woman. And I think it's really good to have an idea of what you're looking for, but you can't write off an entire person based on one quality if that quality is superficial. Now, if it's the most important quality to you, then don't compromise on that. But for instance, I remember whenever Michael and I were eating in our college cafeteria, I was at the table with him, and some dude was sitting with us. And this was before we even started dating. I just was eating dinner with him, and the guy said, "So Michael, what kind of girls do you like?" And he said, "A girl who's about 5, 6." And at that moment, my heart broke. Like, I was like, oh, I don't even have a chance with this guy because I'm 4'11". Now,
4'10 and a half.
I believe that I have all of the qualities that he wants in a girl.
More than all of the qualities I could ever want, ever, in any woman. I
think that sometimes the Lord presents to us a very, very good thing. He presents to us His best. Sometimes it doesn't look exactly the way we expected it to. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not from Him. And so you have to weigh everything and look at the whole person and not just one quality. Also, it's important to look at whether or not your standards are biblical or whether they are superficial. If they're superficial standards, they can be compromised on. But if they're biblical standards, you cannot compromise on them. You always need to find somebody who is equally yoked with you. You always have to find a man or a woman who is submitted to the Lord. If you're a woman who's waiting on a man, then you're going to look for a man who has leadership qualities, who can wash you with the Word. So those are things you don't want to compromise on.
Also, you have to realize that you will not be someone else's everything either. It takes a special level of empathy and compassion to love someone where they're at, but it takes an equal level of empathy and compassion for someone to love you where you are as well. I am not a finished product today, but I am light years ahead of where I was whenever we first started dating. I still don't know why Amanda put up with me for the first...
He's amazing. He's putting on a front.
For the first 7 to 8 months, though, I mean, I've just improved so much.
He gets better with age.
Yeah, well, I get better the longer I'm with her. So the thing is, you have to understand that your expectations of someone else, they won't be a finished product, you won't be a finished product, but you have to ask yourself, is this someone who I can see myself growing with? At the end of the day, you're always going to have a fight with somebody. You're always going to disagree with someone about something. No one is going to fit your perfect criteria. But if you are making a decision to walk with someone, ask yourself, is this the person that I want to walk with through every situation, through every trial we face, through every disagreement we have? Because once you find that type of person, everything else tends to typically fall in place. Especially if that person is, of course, equally yoked to you and they're rooted in the Lord as well. As long as you can find someone that you can grow with, that's the best way to do it. Because what happens is sometimes people, especially when they get married older, and there's nothing wrong with this, but what I found is that sometimes when people are older, this person is really, really established in who they are, and that person is really, really established in who they are, and when they come together, you have two completely independently operating individuals who are now trying to merge their lives together, which can make things a little bit more difficult than than people like us who maybe we started younger, but now we get a chance to kind of grow up together. You know what I mean? We started dating whenever I was 20 and you were 19. And so now just the process of us growing up together, we couldn't have been finished products at that point in time. So don't look for the finished product. Just look for someone who you can see yourself growing with.
We say all of these things, but I just want to bring it right back in and say, keep your standards high. Just because other people look at you and be like, girl, your standards are too high, you're not going to find a man with that list. Don't let them discourage you. If your standards are biblical standards, then keep them high. And if you have preferences, keep those preferences in your mind, but remember that people are whole people and you take them as complete individuals. You don't get to pick and choose. So I hope that sheds some light on whether or not you have unrealistic standards.
Yeah, and if you want to just hear and learn more about us, definitely like, share, and subscribe to this video and to our channel, but also subscribe to our email list. We send out notes and blogs and different things like that the rest of the world doesn't see, to those who have made the decision to subscribe and kind of walk with us through our daily lives. Doesn't cost anything, but it's just for people who we felt wanted to learn a little bit more about us and get a little bit more personalized attention. And so definitely do that. And if you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. And if there are any other videos that you guys are wanting us to do, definitely let us know as well, because we're open to that.
Love you guys. See you in our next video.
See y'all later. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Never gonna slow down.